What is up guys, and welcome back to my channel. We are cycling all around the island of Sri Lanka and today we are in Jaffna. I don't know what to say. It's my first time tasting it. Good morning guys. So I'm very excited for today's activity because it's something that we couldn't add to our all-inclusive things to do in Jaffna video, which if you haven't watched already, I highly recommend that you do so. Link in the description. But today we are going to be going to the island of Delft and it truly deserves a video of its own. We are going to be camping and spending one night over there and I'm very excited because I've heard tall tales of how beautiful this island is. So we are right now at the Kurikudavan pier and we are going to be leaving from here on a boat for 45 minutes I believe. That will take us to the island of Delft. Okay, so we are on the boat and heading towards Delft. It's a very packed boat, albeit the ticket price is very cheap. And we are traveling in an extremely unconventional way. We are up here with the cargo. It's not allowed I think, but we came here because it was very crowded down there. But yeah, come prepared for this. It's very hot. Wear something long sleeve, bring your cap and stuff. So we have arrived here at Delft Island and as soon as we arrived there was a bus right at the pier, so we got on it. Very short journey. We've gotten off at the right place for us to go to our campsite, but I want to share with you some insights already. Number one is that all of the walls seem to be built out of this coral Lego-like system everywhere, and it's really interesting because I haven't seen this anywhere around the island, or even in Jaffna I don't really see it that much. And also it's very pretty because these pink flowered vines also grow on them and cover it, making it a very interesting and almost like a very quaint village-like vibe. So that's my first impression. I'm excited to get to the camping and see the beach, which I'm sure is going to be amazing. Okay guys, welcome to JKS village stay here in Delft Island, on Delft Island. This is a really beautiful, quaint campsite that is within the garden of the owner's property, but you can actually camp on the beach if you like as well. But let me just show you guys around here. I love how it really does emulate a village style, and you have a number of areas. So just Siva is already chilling. You have a number of areas to chill here, different tent settings, and of course you can pick whichever you like. This one over here is our one. Essentially village style kind of luxury camping because you have power. And if you come inside, you can see you have lovely double-sized beds on pallets with a fan as well, and very waterproof looking tents. Not like it might rain, but in case it does, you're very well protected. So this seems to be a shallow well at the back of the property, and it's very cool because there's actually fish here. It would only mean that it's quite clean, the water, and they have a motor set up here to pull water into the bathrooms I think, but also you can take it out to bathe. Today we are definitely going to be going around. We have a couple of experiences lined up. So we are out here exploring Delft and we spotted one of the things that makes this island very unique, and that is its population of horses. So these horses were brought over 400 years ago by the Dutch and were used for manual labor, but over the years they aren't used for that purpose anymore, which means that the horses are really not being taken care of by private owners. They just graze the wide open fields and these plains, as you can see. So due to a lack of nutrition, the locals claim that the horses have actually got smaller in size, because when I saw them I thought they were ponies, but they were in fact horses 400 years ago that have just shrunk in size. So now we are at another interest point here on Delft, and this is also a remnant of the British era of colonization. This is actually called the Queen's Tower. Now there are two stories about the purpose of this. The first is what the locals told us, is that it was used as a lighthouse, but more accurately a firehouse, where you would build a fire at the bottom of this chamber, and the smoke would rise up and signal to the sailors out in the ocean on which direction the wind was coming in and just where land is. The other story is that this was actually a triangulation tower, and this one actually holds some substance because There's one here, and the King's Tower used to be located right opposite on the other side of the island. And triangulation towers were a method of geographical survey that was very commonly used during the British era. So these are the two stories about the purpose of this tower. So behind me is what's known as the growing stone. Now this is a stone that the locals claim was smaller in size but has continued to grow and get larger over the years. And they actually worship the stone and consider it to be sacred because it's growing in the shape of a Vishnu statue with the cobra behind him. If you look at it, you can actually see the formation of a usual Vishnu statue with the cobra behind him taking shape here on the left hand side. So this is one of the 3 baobab trees in Sri Lanka. There's one here in Delft, there's one in Mannar, as well as one in Wilpattu National Park. Of course, it's of African origin, but it is believed that the Arab traders planted it in a few areas on the island during the time of the Portuguese. Interesting facts about this tree: primarily grown in very, very dry areas, stores a lot of water in its trunk to get through the very harsh conditions, has a very aromatic flower that blooms to the size of 7 inches, and a very, very nutrient dense fruit. Another fun fact about this tree: it is believed to be over 400 years old. When you're in Jaffna, you're bound to see numerous amounts of a particular tree, and that is the Palmyra tree. It's often considered the tree of life because it provides so much for the community here. So the whole tree from top to bottom is used for all sorts of purposes. If you take the leaves, it is used for weaving and even as making a barricade or a gate for the roof. If you take the trunk, it is used for furniture as well as making beams for the roofs of their house, which is right here. Even the shoot of the Palmyra tree is used to make odia, which is a very special ingredient used in a lot of Jaffna cooking. But today, we are going to be exploring the fruit of the Palmyra tree, the Palmyra fruit, which is something I haven't tried yet, so I'm very excited. So there are a couple of ways to enjoy this fruit. And the first is to eat it raw, and a lot of people like to do this, but it doesn't agree with many. So the second step is to burn it or warm it up in a fire, like as you can see, and then we can dig into it to see what it tastes like. It's like noodles.
Yeah, that's what I said, fibers inside.
Yeah.
Not the flesh.
I like how Gundupus has also come to observe everything. He wants to know.
He don't like that.
He doesn't. Fish. he's non-veg. So this is the center of the Palmyra fruit. So I can feel a very large seed inside it, and there's a lot of fibers that are covering it. And if I smell it, it's really sweet and almost like very sweet jackfruit. Jackfruit, right? It almost smells like that. And so I just bite it, just like this.
Not like how you make a
mango seed?
Yeah. Same like jackfruit, suck it.
It tastes like the jackfruit kind of thing.
Be a bit more descriptive.
It's sweet. It's a very thick kind of pulp. It's interesting because it's warm. I don't know, there's nothing else I can describe it as. I don't know what else to say. It's my first time tasting it. It's really nice. This is a really unique experience, guys. We are out here on Delft, camping on the beach, and it's so cool because we started this fire all by ourselves and it's burning so bright. Oh my god, it's on my face. But really it's so nice because while you can stay at the campsite, at village stay, this is a really cool experience that you can do, and they actually will bring the food for you, and they have a tent set up for us, or you can sleep outside the tent because actually in this part of the country it's not that cold outside, even on the beach. And I have to say it's a very raw experience still. There's no like frills and no like special like luxury anything, but it's a really great experience to come have with your friends and just make some simple but wonderful memories. Okay, this experience has been very unique and very special because you really get to immerse yourself in the authentic village life, which is kind of disappearing in Sri Lanka. So this is one of the only places that you can really get a true, untouristic, uncommercialized experience. It's so authentic that's also the reason why the camping itself in the night is very bare bones. There's no frills, it's just camping out under the stars, make your own fire, have a nice home cooked meal and enjoy a good time with your friends and family maybe. Yes, thanks to Siva and to Wathson for taking us along and giving us an amazing experience. Thanks to Vitushan from Village Stay. Really enjoyed their hospitality, guys. Make sure you check them out and do support them. For those of you that have been following our series thus far, you know that we are on a mission to ensure the sustainable and regenerative comeback of the tourism industry of Sri Lanka. Jaffna and the northern coast of the island is one that we have seen tremendous potential over the past few years, and we thought to speak to an industry veteran and get his thoughts on Jaffna as well as the tourism industry of Sri Lanka at this point in time. Okay, so now we have the chairman of the Jetwing Group, Mr. Hiran Kure, here with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Sheneller.
Oh, thank you. So Jetwing is the largest tourist brand in Jaffna at the moment. What is the future or the potential you see for tourism in Jaffna, and how can we protect the cultural and religious aspect of it while also promoting it as a tourism destination?
I think one of the main attractions of Jaffna is the culture, the religious activity,
yes.
right? Because without that, Jaffna will be dead. The Kovils, beginning with Nallur, it's that religion and that, people's behavioral patterns, their food habits, all that is part of culture of Jaffna. So we have to make that the attraction.
Absolutely.
Not introduce anything external into. So, okay, we provide luxury accommodation here in Jaffna. That's all we do.
Yeah.
The rest is, you see Jaffna as is. The Kovils, the architecture, the landscape, the food. Even in our hotels, we haven't introduced any major Western food varieties. We are just focusing on what Jaffna curry is, Jaffna food. So that's what we are offering. I think there is a lot more to Jaffna to explore. The climate here is very nice. It's cool. It's windy. Food. The people are also extremely nice as well. It's all that put together. I think it's if we can maintain it that way, there is potential for tourism to grow more. We haven't still gone to the beaches of Jaffna.
Absolutely.
And the islands of Jaffna. Right? So there is potential in the next 3 to 5 years to see some lovely resort types, not high-rise buildings, just ground and maybe one floor up. That kind of resorts along the beaches, because this is obviously a peninsula, and then you have the islands. There is the, Delft Island is something that's, to me, the nicest beach I have seen in Sri Lanka is on the Delft Island. So those are absolutely untouched places as well. So there is a little possibility to grow tourism a little bit more, because one thing is tourism creates job opportunities. It lifts the economy and the money filters down to everybody. So that's something that so it's a very good question you asked. How do you preserve the culture? Yes, so you promote the culture. When you're promoting the culture, then that culture sustains. Yes,
absolutely, I agree. And I think that since we have developed so many other parts of the island and we are coming to the north last, I hope we can learn from the things that mistakes we have made, and like you said, like not many high-rise buildings and preserving the culture. Hopefully we can do like a better job of preserving and promoting this. Our lovely chat with Mr. Kure went on to discuss numerous topics regarding the tourism industry of Sri Lanka. Now, if you'd like to listen to the entire interview, make sure you check out the full video on our second channel and the link for that will be in the description. It was honestly a very insightful and encouraging conversation for us.
Yeah, because this is too long otherwise,
Yeah, but don't hold back.
No.
We love all the information.
I will never hold back.
Perfect. Good morning guys. So today we are going to show you Mahesha Bhavan, which is one of Jetwing's luxury villas here in Jaffna and probably one of the only that you will find here. This property is actually a beautifully refurbished, traditional, authentic Jaffna style home and provides you with a very authentic experience when you're here, because most of the food here is focused on traditional Jaffna food and the experience here is one of the best that you can get. Okay, so we've got dosas, we've got ulundu vade, we've got idlis, and then we've got a mutton curry here as a meat dish, green chutney, red chutney, as well as sambar, and we have got a chutney here. Looks like a date chutney, I'm not sure on that. And of course, a very authentic Jaffna dish, which is pananga paniyaram. Hope I said that correctly. This is Palmyra fruit pulp mixed in with flour and sugar and fried to make these sweet, delicious treats. What I'm about to share with you now is something that's very interesting that has started up here in the north of Sri Lanka, and that is the export of quite a rare kind of seafood. It might actually be one of the most expensive seafood that Sri Lanka exports at the moment, and it's only being cultivated here in the north. One thing about Jaffna and the north of Sri Lanka that is very well known is that the soil here is very rich in nutrients. Nobody knows the reason why, and a lot of studies have been conducted into it. But what we know is that the soil here produces excellent results for crops and apparently for seafood as well. Today's seafood creature is kind of a rare, almost a weird little thing, but let me just show it to you. I think that's better, right? Okay, so I am going to look for one. It should be right about here. Okay. This is it, guys. This is the creature that is very popular right now for seafood exports, and this is called a sea cucumber. Essentially what it does is that it eats the soil and grows into a large size and is very well demanded in Asian countries like China. So what's happening here in Sri Lanka is that farmers are renting out plots of land with all the necessary regulations passed over. So they buy these creatures at about 6 months from suppliers, and they grow them in this very nutritious soil for about 6 months until they reach a size which is very profitable for them to sell. And so this square plot here, and the gentleman who owns this farm has bought about 5,000 pieces of sea cucumber, and he has been cultivating them over time. So the process of doing this is that they will be selling the ones that reach a certain age right now, but also preserving a few of them so that they will be able to reproduce on their own and be sustainable in this farming procedure as well. So these sea cucumbers are being sold at a very reasonable price to export companies, and for the farmer this is a very decent income that they are making, and they're very happy with this cultivation process. And in turn, the export companies are selling it out of Sri Lanka for an even more lucrative price, ranging into the thousands of dollars, making this yet another example of Sri Lanka having the perfect conditions to grow and cultivate a crop or a food and export it for a very lucrative amount and bring in that foreign exchange. I want to give a big shout out to our local guides and friends, Siva and Alistine. Check out their channels, Alistine Rocks. And of course Siva's channel, Yal Samil. Why? Siva's channel, Yal Samil, that he does with his mom. They do all authentic Jaffna cooking. Really delicious looking food. You have to check it out and give them a thumbs up and subscribe to their videos. And thanks guys for always showing us the authentic Jaffna. We appreciate it. And just like that, our time in Jaffna has come to an end. We spent a total of 5 days here, and it was amazing, and we got a lot of rest which we needed after our 120-kilometer ride here. So thank you so much to Jetwing for hosting us and pampering us and really just giving us the tender love and care that we needed after arriving here. They're amazing. I would say one of the best places to stay in Jaffna. Can't wait to be back. But unfortunately, we have to leave. So we are going to be heading towards Kilinochchi. And I will see you guys in the next vlog.